In this video, we're going to go over CAD Object 2. So I'm going to click New. And your template may start showing up here. If not, just keep clicking Browse Templates, View Drive, PDE, AutoCAD, my template. I'm going to come into my model space. And this one is a little bit trickier. So I'm going to grab my line tool and I'm going to start with that 7.5 along the bottom. So I know that this is going to come up 3 inches. And I know that on the other side it's coming up 2.75. So I'm going to come over 1.5. And I don't actually know the height of this. So I'm going to move into my construction layer. And I'm going to offset this line at 4.75. So I'm going to offset this to the overall max. And I do want that to be in my construction layer because I don't actually need that whole line. And while I do that, let's also do this 3.25. So I'm going to offset this 3.25, and I'm going to move that to my construction layer as well. So what that allows me to do is now in my object layer, I can come here and I can say, okay, I'm going to come up to this line, I'm going to go over 1.5. See how that wasn't actually on that line? You want to be careful with that. Sometimes being on that line is a little funny, so you can actually go past it and then it snaps to that. So 1.5, I'm going to come down to that 3.25 line. I'm going to come over 1.5. I'm going to come back up to that 4.75, over 1.5, and then I'm going to come down parallel to this. If I don't know how far to come, I'm going to actually just overextend that, and then I can close this object in. So this line is a little bit too long, so I'm going to grab my trim tool and I'm just going to trim off the extra part. So I'm not going to worry about my construction lines. So let's go over to Layout 1. I had to close out of my tool, press Escape, Layout 1. And I can't see this, so I'm going to zoom extents, and there is my object. Let's set this 1 to 1. And if the grid is bothering, you can always turn that off as well. You don't have to be viewing that. And something else that I'm thinking may be helpful for some of you, but you don't have to, is for this construction line, you can actually turn that off in the viewport layer. Should be able to turn that off in the viewport layer. Oh, maybe not. Oh, that's going to freeze. It's not going to let you make changes to it. Anyway, it's okay that those lines are there because remember, they're not going to print. So I am going to move this just slightly to the left offset because I know I have more dimensions on the right hand side to put than I do on the left. So I'm still set 1 to 1. I'm going to move this to paper space, change to my dimension layer, and I'm going to add in all the dimensions from the drawing. So this is 2.75. I have 1.5. I'm going to bring that up out of the object. And see how I clicked the line and that worked for my 2.75, but here it didn't give me that gap. So that's where clicking on those endpoints is more helpful. So I'm going to click from here to here and bring that straight up. And that's going to give me that gap between my extension lines. Here to here. Here to here. And here. So I'm going to do the same thing down at the bottom. Total, I now remember it was 7.5. Let's make this 3. 3.25, and total it was 4.75. And notice these are overlapping. So we're going to again come back to annotate, change my dimensions, modify. We can do this in the template, and then that would save. You just have to remember to change certain drawings so that way they are where you need them to be. So we're going to change our title. CAD Object 2. We set our ratio 1:1. Today's date, your block number, and then it's going to be drawing number 2. So let's go ahead and print that. Preview it. Again, I'm going to screenshot this, but this looks like what I want it to look like. I'm going to hit the X. I'm going to click OK. It's going to print this. And then I'm going to make sure I save this. So save. And I'm just going to change this to Object 2. If you'd saved it correctly the first time, naming convention-wise, it's a lot easier to save the others. So I'm going to press Save. And be sure to ask if you have any questions.